Vivienne, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. So I love that how this show kind of has at its heart this very hopeful person, just or I guess demon. I don't know. You can't really call her a person, but I do love that like with all of the jokes about heaven and hell and everything else that kind of comes with it, how you have put this very sweet being in the center of this show to kind of carry us on this journey. And so for you as a creative and a writer, was it always your goal to make sure like that Harley's a character is someone who we always are going to turn to and relate to in this kind of out there idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. I resonate a lot with Charlie because, she's a character who is very, very locked in and determined and has a dream and that she's fighting for, despite a lot of adversity. I feel like that's something a lot of people can relate to, especially people trying to accomplish their dreams, especially women trying to accomplish their
Mhm.
dreams. So, it very much like was a resonating thing with her character. And it's also a very aspirational thing, like she's very much like that kind of Leslie Knope character that's just never, just facing so much and still pushing through. So yeah, that was very important to me. I feel like that's just the perfect character at the heart of a story like this about redemption and about kind of these such big themes.
Yeah, and I do too. Like I'm a theater person, so I love how many, not only New York Broadway people you've gotten to do the voices for these characters, but I do love how music plays such an important part in this story. And was it always your intention to have that musical element with the show, or is that what has been a genre, or is that just something that kind of came out of working on it as a whole?
That was honestly always supposed to be how it was. Like the original pilot had songs in it. I've
Mhm.
always like it was my dream to kind of make this a big musical. All the characters when I created them, I either created them with to a song that existed and was like that's what they sound like, or it was like just I was like I would always imagine the theatricality of them. So yeah, so it was very much meant to be that.
When it's fun too, like because I was sitting there and I was like, wait, is that Christian Borle? Is he the TV? Like I like was slowly like that sounds like Christian Borle. This one sounds like Alex Brightman. This one is this, and so is that like did you get to have a say in any of that, or like were you just kind of getting to be the nerd of like that's perfect casting, great job, guys, like that's good work, good work. That's who I thought was gonna do it.
I was able to be really involved with casting. So ultimately everyone cast was my decision. For certain characters like Christian, for example, he was one of the few who didn't read for it. He like we just went out to him
Mhm.
like because I was like I would like him to be Vox because Vox is a new character that didn't exist before, and I was like, no, he'd be great. And I was so honored because he like he obviously accepted it, and he like was phenomenal. So I'm definitely like the biggest, I think, nerd about him on the cast just because he's done so many shows and I was like so familiar with his work before he was officially cast. And I had just seen him live for the first time, like right before or like during ish when we were casting him. So amazing, amazing talent. And obviously everybody on the cast like has a very similar story where like I was either familiar with them or I recognized their name when it came to the audition. And it was so cool to get to cast these amazing people. Everyone's so good in it.
Yeah, they truly like. I'm like every time, every episode, I was like, great. And I want my next one. I want to press play just because it was so cool to kind of see not only like where the story was going and everything like that, but to see this cast that you guys put together for it because it's incredible. And for you, when you are kind of doing this, that at its core, it is a story about redemption, but it is also about people kind of fighting for their lives at the end of the day. What was the most I don't want to say fun because fun feels like the wrong word, but what was the most fun for you to like get to write within this show as a whole?
Honestly, I like writing wise, I love doing the emotional things and the mean things just because I love villains. So
Mm.
for me, one of my favorite things to write was Adam in the first episode. I was having so much fun writing just the most obnoxious kind of guy. But he ends up being so funny. Like we just did this premiere screening, and he got some of the biggest laughs, which I was like so
Hmm.
happy for. I was like, yes, I was trying to make this just the funniest. Like, and also, Alex's performance is also really, really amazing. Like he kind of
Hmm.
nailed exactly what I was intending when I wrote it. So yeah, he that was really fun. But I also episode 4 is very special to me because that's another one I had an incredibly heavy hand in, and that one um, is very dark and very emotional, and I really liked kind of getting to do that. So I like that, either something really raunchy and really like cursing filled, that's like an asshole character, or something very like impactful. And I like writing like kind of tragedy or romance kind of things. So
Hmm.
those are kind of the two sides of writing I enjoy most.
Yeah, and for last question, I do love all of the little couples that are appearing throughout this show. I think they're all very sweet, and I'm obsessed with all of them. But do you have a favorite that you like writing of like the couples? Because you said you like the romance stuff. Is there like one of those
Oh
couples
yeah,
that you?
absolutely. I mean, obviously, there's definitely some that are developing in this
Mhm.
first season, but for me, I really really love writing Charlie and Baggy because they're a pre-established couple, so writing
Mhm.
them is very natural because they've already been in the relationship for some time, so it's not it's much more kind of normalized, and it's much more like natural and casual with them. So they're really fun to write together, and I'm really excited to continue that as we're
Awesome.
on this next season.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to be able to get to see the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.